morning, YouTube. Good morning, social media. It is approximately 4:23. It's actually 4:23 in the morning, and I am headed to the Washington D.C. Reagan National Airport for my very first trip outside of the United States since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic here. I'm actually headed to Costa Rica. That is Pura Vida, one of the most biodiverse countries in the Western Hemisphere.
Costa Rica has two major international airports. If you intend to visit the Caribbean coast, the Central Pacific region, or southern Costa Rica, you're better off flying into San Jose, because I was more interested in getting the best of both Costa Rican worlds, beaches, waterfalls, and mountains in relatively close proximity. I planned my flight with service to the Liberia International Airport, which is located on the Pacific coast of the country. It has daily international flights with American and Delta Airlines from the East Coast.
So this is the main road to Playas del Coco, which is one of the main beaches on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica. It is rush hour. They tell us that we're supposed to be getting some headwinds with respect to traffic, but so far so good. I think too, because of the COVID pandemic, you do have a lot of reduced traffic. There are curfew hours here, and they are strictly enforcing mask regulations and social distancing rules. As a matter of fact, what is happening is that your registration plates can only be out on certain days. So that is what their process is looking like here with respect to how they are managing the pandemic. So I picked up the rental car. So just a warning about Costa Rica and the rental cars. So Expedia will advertise a particular rate. It will tell you that, okay, it will cost, let's just say $20 a day. But when you get here, you're in for a rude awakening, because they charge you another fee. And so they also require a hefty deposit. So just make sure that when you get here, that you are very vigilant about just the rentals. Outside of that, the rental process, the checkout process was very straightforward. And yeah, I'm actually headed to my my house. It's an Airbnb. I deliberately chose not to do a hotel. I don't want to be around people, so I am looking forward to that. Let's see where this vehicle is taking me to now.
In Costa Rica, I stayed at Chantal's Place, a local Airbnb that gives you a spectacular view of Playa del Coco in the Guanacaste region. A fun fact about Playas del Coco is that it is the largest village in the province, as well as one of the oldest beach communities in the area. It is also one of the fastest growing areas for tourism on the Pacific coast.
What's up? What is your name? ¿Cuál es su nombre? Creo que tú no entiendes inglés, ¿sí? ¿Cuántos años tiene su perro? 2 años. Es muy grande. Sí. Ah. Oh, ok, entiende. Ok. Eso. Ah, chao. So I consider Costa Rica to be Grenada on steroids. There are so many similarities. Of course, both countries are in the tropics, but they are very similar with respect to its topographical facade. It's also very similar with respect to just the nature of the mountains and the lakes you see over here. So if you ever want that kind of ecotourism vacation in Central America, in a place that is relatively safe, in a country that that actually has a significant immigrant community from North America, there are a lot of North American immigrants in this part of the world. Certainly Costa Rica is the place to visit. And I just came out of a zipline adventure at the Diamante Eco Adventure Park, which is really great. So Costa Rica has several national parks, and I'm actually on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica. On this trip, I have not had the opportunity to visit the Atlantic coast or the Caribbean coast, if you will, but certainly on a return trip, I would want to see what the Atlantic coast has to offer. Of course, over on the Atlantic coast, we also know that there is a vibrant Afro-Latino / Afro-Caribbean community. There are a lot of Caribbean people who essentially, at some points, I mean, you know, there were different types of waves of immigration from the Eastern Caribbean to this part of Latin America during the construction of the Panama Canal, as well as the exodus of the Garifuna people from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who were unceremoniously removed by the colonialists at the time. So Costa Rica certainly has that kind of racial diversity that you would come to expect of any Latin American countries.
So another fun fact about Costa Rica, it's late, it's actually 11:30 at night, but I can't sleep yet. I'll be heading to bed soon. Anyways, but another fun fact about Costa Rica is that it averages about 100 inches of rainfall annually. Of course, September and October are considered the months that have the heaviest rainfall in the region. And so travelers are advised actually not to come during those months because of the intense monsoon. What they tell us is that it would rain literally for the entire day during those months. And so they tell you the best time to come would be from June, I would say June, counting backwards. So you get here from maybe January to June, those would be good months to come. But this is a typical evening in Costa Rica when it starts to rain. And it would actually rain all night in some cases. But it makes for really beautiful just scenery and greenery and all of that good stuff. What I did today is that I took one of the ATV tours that comes out of the Guanacaste province. Buddy, what is the name of this company? Yeah, Coco Trail. Congo Trail. Yes. So the name of the name of the trail is the Congo Trail. We have a bunch of ATVs here. I would say we have about 15 people on this tour today. It took us about probably about 40 minutes to get here. We had to go through some very intense jungle on these ATVs, but we made it. We had some serious turbulence on our way to this spot. And it's gonna rain. Right. We're here and we're actually on the beach. Remind me the name of the beach again, I keep forgetting. Sapotal. The name of the beach is Sapotal, and it's one of the beaches on the Pacific northwest coast of Costa Rica. Actually, this beach is very close to the Nicaraguan border. Just, I would say, maybe an hour from this region, it will get you across into Nicaragua
And you can actually do a day trip to Nicaragua if you want to. Crossing the border is pretty straightforward. And actually, I think I would be going to Nicaragua on my final day here, but that's still up in the air. Anyway, so I'm about to get on the beach, but as you can see, we have what we call in Grenada the bushery, right? So we know that the bushery is steeped in legend. It's steeped in a lot of a spiritual legend. Some of you call it obia and witchcraft and all of that, but we're not going to have that conversation today. But perhaps I should also take a bath in the bushery. So you have to get to the beach. To get to this beach, you actually have to cross over into the bushery. So in many respects, I guess I'm getting a bush bath right now, if you will. But the vehicles stop at the bushery's edge, so you can't really get further from this point onto the beach. It's still very isolated. We do not have any kind of hotel or villa development in this part. It's just extremely pure and unspoilt. I'm not seeing a lot of pollution, but this is just look at this. This is incredibly beautiful. Obviously, the beaches on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica, at least on the northwestern coast, tend to be much more black sand. You do not find a lot of white sandy beaches, at least on this part of Costa Rica. You would find more black sand, gray sand, and that's the standard. But the further south you go, so if you make a southwesterly trip, like you go to Playa Flamingo, for example, where parts of Jurassic Park was filmed. I am subject to correction, but I believe parts of Jurassic Park was filmed on that particular beach. They tend to have more white sand, and this is where we are. And they are the other folks, the other tourists. I made another, I would say approximately 2.5 hour journey to the Arenal National Park. That national park is home to one of the dormant volcanoes in Costa Rica. On a clear day, which you rarely have clear days in these parts except perhaps in the dry season, you will be able to see the entire summit of the volcano, which is this way, but it is always shrouded in cloud cover and that very dense fog that you see. But it certainly is a good hike. Adjacent to this volcanic formation is the Lake Arenal, which is this huge body of water in the area. It's also a must-see. There are several lakeside activities that you can engage in. You have boating, and you also have different types of water sport activities. Now, my next stop after this national park would be the Mystico Hanging Bridges. Now, that is a very iconic Costa Rican landmark. Anytime you see any kind of promotional material for Costa Rica, you tend to see those bridges as well. So you also find that kind of activity in this area. Now, as you can see, if you look around me, you can see these various rock formations, and these rocks were the result of several thousands of years of volcanic activity at this particular volcano before it became dormant. But what you'd also find in this part of Central America, as well as in Nicaragua, which is north of here, is that you'd find a lot of volcanoes, some dormant, some active. But this is, I made it to the trail summit, so that should give us a sense of what we might be able to see on this very overcast day. An overcast day is simply a normal day in Costa Rica. So here we are at the summit, and it's also it's a nice fresh breeze. As you can see at the top, we have the volcano, but that is the extent of what we are able to see today. However, if we look southwest, there we have the lake. We have Lake Arenal right here, and that's just part of the lake. That lake stretches way out. It is a huge body of water. Now, one of the things about this area is that it's extremely windy, which would make sense given the altitude, but it would also make good sense for Costa Rica to harness this intense wind as a source of renewable energy. Now, I traveled with my drone to this area, but my DJI app, now there is a drone weather app, and it tells you, look, for this area it's not advisable to fly your drone. But this is the volcano in front of us. Let's see if
that cloud cover would clear, and perhaps we might be fortunate enough to get some video of that actual summit. And it has started to rain. Obviously, we are in a rainforest, so this is to be expected. And we're also in Costa Rica, where this is also to be expected. But the good news is, I did come prepared for the rain today. Because I have my raincoat with me, so I took the advice of the other intrepid travelers who did the same thing. Who said that, look, if you're going to be coming on any kind of mountain hike, you better walk with rain gear. Because the chances of rain tend to always be 100%. There's no 30% or 20%. There are no variables with this. It will rain. And it is raining. Good, so we headed down by the lake to see what that looks like, and then we would bid adieu to Arenal National Park. Bid adieu for now, because I will be back. I will be back. As you can see, the cloud cover that shrouded the summit of the volcano cleared up as I exited the national park. This gave me an opportunity to record some spectacular drone footage. The Arenal volcano is 1,663 meters high, which is perfectly conically shaped, and it has a crater of 140 meters. In fact, geologists consider this volcano to be pretty young, because it is estimated to be less than 3,000 years old.
I'm passing what would be considered one of the many wind farms that have been constructed recently in Costa Rica, and they are making a concerted effort to take advantage of the renewable energy potential that is inherent in this country by nature of its ecological facade. And so you have a lot of these wind turbines scattered across the mountainside, and we also see that there might be obviously some attachment to the power grid as well. So this is very good to see. It's very good to see that they're making that effort.
And I was in for a treat on my last day in Costa Rica. I took a 2-hour drive to one of the most photographed natural formations in the country, that of the Rio Celeste waterfall, which is fed from the verdant Rio Celeste. The waterfall is renowned for its hypnotic blue color. The waterfall gets its majestic blue hue because of a natural white mineral that coats the rocks at the bottom of the riverbed in Rio Celeste. This was by far the highlight of my trip to Costa Rica. To get to the waterfall, you have to enter the Tenorio National Park, which in and of itself has several natural hot springs and a treasure trove of hundreds, if not thousands, of Costa Rican wildlife.
Okay, so I made it to the Tenorio National Park, which is, I would say, a 2.5-hour drive from Playa del Coco, and full COVID protocols are in place here. We are required to wait until the park meets a particular social distancing standard in terms of crowds. So right now we have some folks, including myself, we're just waiting here for them to meet that requirement, and then they would allow us to get in. Of course, you also have to wear your mask, and unfortunately for me, drones are not allowed, but I would still have the good fortune of seeing this very magnificent place. Of course, it's one of the national parks, and to get in here it's only $15. Without the tours, you don't need the tours or anything. You can just come in here and enjoy this place by yourself. And of course, we have the park rangers here, and that's the entrance there. Over on the other side of the street, we also have some shops, and we have local vendors. They're selling fruits and empanadas, and it is in fact a very beautiful day as well. We didn't get any rain as yet, but knowing the Costa Rican weather, this can change at any moment. And of course, ceviche is also actually very popular in this part of Costa Rica. So that's what I forgot to mention. So plastic containers, water bottles are banned from the park. I believe they actually do a search of your bags to ensure that you are following those rules, because they want to ensure that, you know, humans are nasty. We humans are nasty, so it's good that they enforce that rule, because, you know, we just like to just throw our garbage everywhere. We have no respect for Mother Nature, some of us. So
I'm very, very happy to see that they have that in place. Okay, so finally made it on the inside. I'm about to go purchase the ticket, and I will make my way into the park. So, after about, I would say, an hour hike, I finally made it to Tenorio, and it was actually worth the 2-hour drive. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this extremely beautiful waterfall. This was indeed worth the 2-hour drive. I don't regret it at all. So, if you ever come into Costa Rica, you definitely want to visit this location at the Tenorio National Park. It's in it borders the Guanacaste province, but this is worth this long and arduous journey to this point. Okay, so I am here at the international airport. There is a testing facility at the airport where they would complete your temperature checks to go and take the tests. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a rapid test that you're required to take, and you get that back either in a few hours or in a day, and they upload that information to the airline as required, and you're also expected to have that in preparation for your embarkation to your final destination, which for me would be Washington DC. So here I am in the testing facility, and let's see how this goes. The way that they take the PCR test, where they shove that thing up your nose, that's why my eyes are so red. Gracias. This is so cool.
When you go to Tenorio,
Uh-huh.
I'll text you the name, but
Okay.
if you find any coffee shop,
Yeah.
just ask, do you have café chorreado?
Café chorreado.
Yeah, that's what this is called.
Café chorreado.
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 Double R.
Chorreado.
Café
Okay.
chorreado.
Is it is that's indigenous to this region?
No, it's all of Costa Rica. It's
Okay,
really not
all of Costa
like,
Rica.
I would say it's, I don't know if it's a Costa Rican technique, but it's almost Costa Rican thing.
Whenever I travel, I tend to support local. So if it's not a local spot, or if I'm not staying at a local hotel or Airbnb, hola, epa, a hotel or Airbnb accommodation, then I'm not doing it. It's always good to support the indigenous people in the community, as opposed to supporting, hola, as opposed to supporting a lot of the neoliberal, shall we call them, establishments, because you have a lot of chain restaurants here, really. So I tend to support the people in the community, and there is this place here, Yumi, I think I'm gonna have my lunch here. ¿Cómo se dice el típico, la típica? Plato casado, ¿eso? Sí. De el precio igual? Ok, con pescado, por favor. Para llevar. Bueno, pues Estás comiendo comida de Venezuela aquí en Costa Rica. Soy muy alegre. Aquí son arepa y adonde tenemos el carne y también el cachapa con queso y café con leche. Soy muy alegre.
I really enjoyed my time in this beautiful Central American country. Costa Rica has proven that conservation and economic growth can in fact coexist without doing damage to what has defined this landmass for several millennia. The ecotourism thrust ensures that the environmental impact is minimal. This contributes to protecting key natural areas and also benefits the local population by helping them to reduce their dependence on economic activities that will do untold and irreversible damage to the environment. Ecotourism is not only limited to activities within nature, it involves incorporating green sustainability into every aspect of its tourism infrastructure. The Costa Rica model is unique and should be studied by those who experience the tension of tourism and development. Sadly, many Caribbean countries find it hard-pressed to strike the delicate balance between hardwired development, sustainability, and environmental preservation. Perhaps we need more Costa Ricas in a world that pays little respect to Mother Nature and her nurturing resources. I am Dr. Kellen Bubb. Thanks for watching.